Hello viewers, Levi666 back again. Today we're going to be going over a T6 farming build for the Sunwuko monk. You can use this for some lower greater rift farming, but I wouldn't use it for anything above, level maybe 32, 33, maybe 35 tops. But first let's go over the skills and what we're using here. Exploding Palm is sort of the main aspect of this build. We're going to be dotting up a lot of things, and then they're going to be blowing up, and you're going to be clearing large packs almost instantly. I know a lot of people are liking the Impending Doom rune because of the extra damage. You got 6,000, weapon damage is cold. This is going to be good, but not until the Gundo gear comes out in Season 2, in my opinion. So right now I think Shocking Grasp, you can get a second enemy, so you got 2 for the price of 1 for your spirit cost here. I think that's the better option in this build. Next, we're using Wave of Light, Pillar of the Ancients. Once again, because this scales the highest damage, and this is in here really just to finish off any packs that haven't died yet. You're going to be dotting up everything around you. The smaller stuff is going to, die to the bleed effect, and then they're going to explode, triggering other explosions. So hopefully you shouldn't have to use Wave of Light very much, but every once in a while you might need to drop it just to clear out the rest of the packs. Next, we got Dashing Strike, Way of the Falling Star, to increase our movement speed. And we're going to go over that in a second here. But mostly it's just to get to all the big packs to keep dotting them up so they explode. Mystic Ally, Air Ally, you're going to get a 100 Spirit buff off of this. And because we're using the Crudus boots on here, we get an extra ally. And so when you pop that, that's going to give you 200 Spirit instead of 100, which pretty much gives you a full globe of Spirit, since we're at 279 max. Next skill is Sweeping Wind, Inner Storm. When we're at max stacks on there, we gain an extra 8 Spirit per second, which is really good. Since in between packs, we're going to need to regenerate this as quickly as possible, so we can keep spamming the Exploding Palm. And then last is Epiphany Insight. Once again, because it's a farming build, you don't really need the Desert Shroud. A lot of stuff on T6 isn't really going to kill you unless you're not using the double Unity combo. But right now, I'm using Insight for the extra Spirit regeneration. When you pop this, you pretty much have infinite Spirit. Like, we'll just dump this out real quick here, and then we'll pop that on. That starts generating. You can see it's very hard to run out, and that's when you're casting the Pillar. You're never going to be doing that. You're just going to be popping the Exploding Palms, and that'll just be pretty much a permanent Spirit buff there for you. Alright, next we're going to move on to the items that we're using for this build. I've been looking for the Grand Incense Torch for a really long time, actually since the patch came out. I got lucky and got this really good Ancient Flying Dragon, near perfect rolls on all the stats that mattered, really. And I did get lucky while I was farming 2-handers from Kadala, and I got an Ancient Furnace. I do need to gift this so I can get a socket in there, and I should be using this. I probably will once I go into greater rifts, but for right now, I just want to show that you can do this without a furnace. You can do it with any 2-hander. It really doesn't matter which one. And just so you guys know, you hit Control to see the max stats. If you hit Shift, it changes the damage range so you can see what it would do without that gem in there. So you can see it's 31% including the gem. If you take that gem out of the equation, it's a 9% damage loss. That's pretty good. And I also found a Flow of Eternity. If 7-sided strike ever becomes good, that'll be something I can save. So we're using the Flying Dragon. The double attack speed isn't really horrible with this. You can dump your Spirit really, really quickly if you're not paying attention when that triggers, but generally you're just going to be dotting things up faster and making them blow up, and then you'll get, some resource regeneration from the Reaper's Wraps and all the health globes that drop, and you don't have to rely so much on Epiphany or Mystic Ally. But the only thing that's absolutely mandatory is the Sunwuko set. You need that 4-piece bonus to get the extra, 500% damage on the Exploding Palms there, because that's a huge increase, and it just melts everything. To further help out this set, I'm using Inna's Vast Expanse to get us all the mantras. If you're not using Innas and you're going to go with like a Captain Crimson style, I would probably drop the Sweeping Wind and go for Mantra of Healing, Circular Breathing for some extra spirit regen. Or if you need some survivability, agility, Mantra agility is really good for the dodge chance. Other than that, you can kind of just fill the spots where you need them. Like I said, the only necessary pieces are the sunwukos, and I would really recommend the Reaper's Wraps here for the resource regen. You're going to want the Ring of Royal Grandeur to get the 4-piece bonus off the 3-piece, off only using 3 pieces. I really recommend Leoric's Crown for additional cooldown reduction. This is sort of in-between balance. Instead of going full cooldown and relying on having to keep Epiphany up 100% of the time, this is a little less gear intensive, and you can kind of just focus on both. We got about 50% cooldown reduction, and I think you need around 75 to keep permanent Epiphany. And then we got Spirit Regen is at 10%. When this is on, that's, an extra 8 Spirit. So we're getting around 18 Spirit per second. It wouldn't be hard to change out some of this gear and some of your skills and get over 20. I forgot to go over the passives here. Dashing Strike. This is why we're using momentum. We get a lot of movement speed, and we're dashing around a lot. Momentum is going to give you an extra 20% damage for 6 seconds for every 25 yards you move. Now, if you watch, that triggers all the time. You barely have to move. You can just kind of go in circles. Here, you just go in circles around the waypoint thing, and you see that it triggers as soon as the computer has decided that you've moved 25 yards there. So that's up all the time, and that's just a straight damage modifier. You'll see that drop off here. Next, we're using Unity. Each ally affected by our mantras increases our damage by 5%. And since we're using the Crudus boots, we got 2 little guys right here that are getting our mantras, plus our followers, so that's giving us a 15% buff. So it's totally worthwhile having. If you're not using the Crudus boots, and you don't really need this, I would recommend going with Exalted Soul. You get extra spirit and spirit regen. If you need survivability, I would either go with Sixth Sense or Near-Death Experience. Harmony is pretty standard, increasing all your elemental resistance, and then Beacon of Etar to bring the cooldowns down even further. Next, we'll go for the Paragons. You want to max out your movement speed. I got movement speed on my boots, so we just need 25% total. The rest goes into Dex. I went cooldown, crit damage, then crit chance. I really needed the crit damage since my amulet is really bad. I only got 277 crit damage and 40% crit chance. This could easily, go up to 377 and 50%. But you can see I'm still doing well over 1 million damage, and mostly I have to thank my awesome weapon for that. But you can see you don't have to have a ton of crit damage. You can still do really high DPS. All right. Next, defense. We'll do resistance, armor, then life. And then utility, we did resource cost reduction, area damage, and now life on hit. I don't really know how much life on hit is really going to benefit us, but gold find isn't really going to benefit us much either. Alright, so that is pretty much it for the build. Oh, let's go over the gems. We're using the Gogaka Swiftness for additional cooldown reduction. The Bane of the Powerful for increased damage and damage against elites. And the last gem we're using is Bane of the Trapped. Once enemies get within that 15-yard radius, they're taking additional 24% damage. So that's really going to help you out as far as blasting the damage out. So let's do some quick gameplay. I will apologize ahead of time because my frame rate is not the greatest while I'm recording. So we're probably going to drop below 20 frames a second. It's going to look really laggy for you guys. So I apologize for that ahead of time. But we're going to zone into a decent area. We got some elites right off the rip. So you see we just dotted up a couple of them. We're going to drop a couple pillars and then boom. The pack is dead. We'll move on to the next one. If there was trash mobs, that would have been a lot fast. We would have even probably had to drop the pillar. here's a nice big. So you see, you got a lot of little scorpions. We'll dot the scorpions, and they'll just kill the big guy. There you go. Oh, or maybe not. He wasn't within enough range of the guys that were dying, but you get the idea. Normally you want to kind of get everything close. I'm purposely going slow because I want to show how quickly you just blow things up. But here, let's go into another area with more monsters. Let's just go. Weeping Hollow always has a ton of stuff. So let's go there. There we go. So dot those. They'll blow up. Die. Just die. There we go. Alright. Sorry, this is a really bad example right now. But here we go. We got a whole big group and an elite. Here, just boom, boom, boom. There you go. Elite's dead. Group's dead. Moving on to the next one. Another big group, some zombies and big guys. There you go. Whole group's dead. A couple more strikes afterwards to dot up the little guys, and they're dead too. One more big group. It'd be sweet. We got an elite pack. There we go. So show you here. The little guys blow up the elite. The whole pack is dead. That must have been one of those shared health ones. But you get the idea. In T6 rifts, this would be very quickly clearing out trash mobs, and half the time the trash mobs are going to clear out your elite packs as well. And when you get to the boss, you know, if there aren't guys around, you'll want to drop the wave of light to help dot down the boss. Alright guys, that's it for the build. I hope that helps you out as far as farming T6 with the new sunwuko gear. This exploding palm is definitely the way to go, and in seasons, I can't wait for season 2 to start. I'm going to do another monk in seasons, and it's going to be great once that gundo gear gets out. You're just going to be exploding palming everything all the time. Alright, if you like the video, subscribe to the channel. We'll do some other class content here and some speed riffs and speed guides for you. Thanks for watching. Later.